Hey, NASDAQ. We got a special update here. We got Saturday uh, trading video here. We're going to talk about crude oil here. So there's a lot of misinformation or disinformation, malinformation. Malinformation, by the way, is what the government, it's true, but the government doesn't want you to know about it. Mal, M-A-L. So here we're looking at unleaded gas. This is kind of interesting here. This is June, okay, and here we got a 7 here, okay. So this is a little buy program, okay. Probably kind of seems kind of obvious, but what isn't obvious here is the futures here. Hang on a second here. Here's the 7s here just recently. Okay, here you got a 7 down. Strike that. You know what? I was looking at something at the beginning there, but anyways, here. So this was March 9th. Okay, this was the high. We have closed up here. I do have some here. You know what? Here, hang on a second here. Let me display those. Okay. That's kind of something. And listen, okay, these, if I do have those hidden, you know, maybe that's a tease. So here Friday, we came up here and did a double top. Okay, almost. Look at that. I mean, this is $480 per 1 cent. You know, 320 to 321. $4,200 from 320 to 220. Okay, per one lot. 480 gallons, I think is what it is. Anyway, here. Watch these numbers here. This is for June here, okay? So this will be probably a prime month when the panic ends, because whoever's selling now is deep pockets, okay? And I've been talking about the sheiks, okay? They've been selling some, well, actually they sold some gold. But on this rally here, you just had your income double, you know, in the case of crude, 55 to, you know, $1.10. That's a little too high. Even though, and listen, mute the news. When you see crudes at 112, they're not talking U.S. crude. They're talking London crude. You're being misled. So anyway, these are a couple levels here. 310.16 is one of these oranges, okay? 280, call it 287. You could stop and look at that exact figure. Because it's $100 per one lot here, you know, just in with 75 cents. So, and then I got 328.35, 341.34. These would be olive line extreme sells. We'll see. This is educational, okay? If you trade real money and you trade RBOB, this is unleaded gas. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of me. Here we got 2 7s though. And what do we do? Okay, first time we did not close over the green. We've seen that in crude oil here, okay? Let's go to, here's April, okay? This is more spot month, right? Because it's March 21st, it's Saturday. Okay, so, you know, look at this. We're making new highs, okay? And we're doing high closes for, you know, probably a year. Maybe not a year. It depends. I'm not that familiar with RBOB here. But anyway, 328, 341.16, couple olive sells. Okay, here's how the olive buys work right there. That's nat gas. That's August nat gas. This is what? Oh, a couple days ago. Okay, you probably have a trend line right across here. But let's go to crude oil here, and then we're going to go into the metals, okay? But let's finish the crude oil. As a matter of fact, where is my Brent? Okay, let's glance at this first. Okay, this is June crude oil spread, okay? So just think that the June, in a shock like this, the June 26th will gain on the June 27th, okay? Because we'll have a year to sort this thing out or something like that. So that's not going to go up as much. But what you're doing in this case is playing the spread here. So, but these are sells, okay? Listen, that was Sunday night, okay? That was Sunday. Look at that, $32.50. $9 over this, and here sometimes I have these mapped out. This must have been an old high. But in the meantime here, we got an olive line sell on a retest, and then we got the green buys. Here you got an outside down day here. This is going to be a big area, okay? This will be a big area because we could come in Sunday night, okay? and open $5-6 lower and go down $10 before you even know about it. And then it'll be over. The futures market will see this first. This is the DC here. We're $7.61 over here. Here's a couple upside looks in this. This is a back month, okay? This will be December. Listen, this might even be a bigger sell because if we got to go back to drill, baby, drill, we know it was $55 just a couple months ago, okay? We know that. This is just a plain Jane crude oil chart here. As a matter of fact, here, you know what? Since it's plain Jane here, let me just do this. This is not the way I would do it here, but it's a ballpark. Okay, so these would be your pivot numbers in May crude to sell. Okay, see here we close. Wow, here, hang on a second. Let's use this on a daily here and see that because that's a little bit too long term. Okay, this is a daily here. Okay, 113.78 here. You had an olive. 113.41. It was a miss by 40 cents. Okay, but that's like, hang on a second. Oh no, here, hang on a second. This is $1,000 a buck. Okay, so you got 24 grand. Just if you would have sold it up here to right here. Okay. This is a day, okay? This was total chaos, okay? This is everybody just panicking. Now, Bloomberg is absolutely hyping crude oil, okay? So beware, mute the news, okay? So, and then this would be the Brent over WTI. This is what I talked about here. I'm like, this is going wider. So this was probably that was March 4th. Okay. Oh, here's the 9th. Okay, so this was where we were. Okay. And as a matter of fact, that was, watch this. Okay, so this would have been tiny olive sell. Anyway, this is March 9th. Okay, and you know, people are sorting it out, right? And sometimes we go the wrong way first. Okay, this is a perfect example because this is Sunday night. High, and then we broke down to here the next day. Okay, anyway, so this is about $6 over. This is $6 Brent over United States WTI, West Texas I don't know what it is. West Texas crude. Okay, so here we are at $14. I don't have anything up here. Oh, I don't have anything up here, so anything can happen. Listen, so when they're rallying Brent and U.S. crude in the future here, like any day now, or all the time, or as a trading rule, watch for places if you're looking to sell the crude oil on rallies in Brent. You know, for example, if Brent all of a sudden is up to, let's just say, $5 overnight, okay? And then all of a sudden starts to stall, watch the WTI if we break more. Okay, and for U.S. investors, you just be looking to get short. I'm not advocating going home short over the weekend. Okay, I am talking about day trading opportunities. Let's go to this is page 6 here. Hang on a second here. Okay, see any of these things you want? Okay, these are my pages. Okay, Boone's Schatz. Okay, I got a Merchants of Death, Moderna. Okay, IBB, the index, the bio index. So let's go to page 8. And we are going to talk about, here's crude oil here. Let's just take a look at crude and then we're going to go into metals. Okay, so this is where crude, this is this week here. This was, what was this, the 6th? This was May crude. Oh, this is the 9th. I'm sorry. This is the 9th. Okay, I'm looking over here. This was the 6th. This was the Friday before. Okay, this is what this looked like here, going into the war. Okay, see, they smelled it out already. Here's long-term trend line here. We gap over it. There's that money manager that's just like, buy me 5,000 futures. Okay, and then, okay, that's him. Like here, okay, you open up and what do? Okay, the market's not convinced. Here, same thing. Market's not convinced, although you gap up. Okay, it's about selling rallies, and then all of a sudden here it just turns. And then we're coming into war. And then we gap up Friday here. Where did we close this day? 78.64. We opened at 84, 78, so about $6 higher. And look at this. Now all of a sudden you open here in a day session, and they start holding. Here you get your 2 red bars, and then you follow by two up ones, you finish the day. Here you gap higher, and then you close here. Okay, they're holding this, and then all of a sudden they throw this break at you, down to 75.57, a gap. Okay, now listen, that's all I had here. This is all I had, and as a matter of fact, this is going to be a gap right here, right? So, but this was this other gap here. This was this was Thursday. Okay, Thursday, Friday. Okay, this is going into the war. Okay. Okay, that's why use technicals over fundamentals always. I got a lesson in 1985, I believe, and I did that. So here, let's finish this up. If you're trading, these would be just a couple. Listen, these are just tiny ones off here. Otherwise, these are your numbers. Now, here, let me put up a daily here, which will pick up the overnight. Okay, see that? So when the little kids are playing in the overnight trade, okay, and I'm being a little facetious, but non-bank hours, anything can happen, okay? They really need limits on this stuff. And so we got shot up to 113.41, okay? So, and these were my numbers. Here I got a couple olives here, okay? And then you can see a bigger sequence here. You go green, orange, thin olive, thick olive, okay? So those would be bigger. But here we are also at extremes in the olive. This looks like there's 2 things here. Okay, no, there's only one. Okay, see, because sometimes when you get a lot of them together here, but all you do is look in this column here. Okay, we're going to start out backwards here. This is a 3-minute in gold here at the end of the day. Look at this, $4,500. Okay, right here. I had a client. I had to leave early. And he was just still convinced we were going to go back down here. The end of the day, we leaked. This really looks bad here. Let me go. Let's go to here. Let me go through my sequences here. Hang on a second here. Okay. Now that was a 3-minute chart. You saw that diamond. Okay. This is my go-to 60-minute chart. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's look at a 60-minute chart. Okay, there's a 60-minute chart. This would be my next one with longer term, but intraday. Okay, and so this is where we were. Okay, so here, look at this, man. This was a great sell. Okay, and then what we did is we had an apex, downward sloping trend line right here. Okay, here. This is where we are, right here. Where was it? Right here. Okay, so right here. Okay, this apex, see? 51.17. It's an upward sloper and a downward sloper. As a matter of fact, here, let me change this color here to blue. Just say, let's say blue. Okay, see the blue? You can't even see it, but it's displayed because everything is displayed. Okay, that means 2 numbers are in the exact same spot. If you don't see that blue one going up, okay, so here we busted through it, came down to another trend line, and then we play around these levels, okay? These are for these fractal algos. As a matter of fact, here, look, it was the low here. Okay, just this one bar, okay? Just this one bar. This is an intraday, okay? And then right here, this is another apex, okay? This is the one I'm talking about. Going down, and then this one's going up, okay? We held it, although we broke it, right? Okay, well, we held it on a closed basis. Here we hit it exact. That's because it's exact. And this is CQG. Here we come in, penetrate it again, and the buying just continues. And then all of a sudden you give it up. Big volume. Okay. And now all of a sudden look at where the highs are. Look at where the highs are. This exact line. Okay. Which starts here to here. Okay. So these are all tools here. And then this one, look at this one going down there. That's kind of wild. But anyway, what we have these other ones we're going to look at here. Okay, like this blue one here, which comes from back here. Okay, so this might be a point of contact, probably is. Here you play, here you play, here you play, here you bust. Okay, here they're selling it against it, underneath it. Okay, here you come back, you touch it. Your buy stop would go over the weekly, for example, and then hopefully you catch it. Here we come into this trend line, hold it for a bar. Come down here. This is when we're at 4,900, okay? So we bust through $5,000, okay? And I've been talking about, I thought central banks have risk buying as much gold as they have over the last 4 years, okay? In this whole BRICS, they're going to debase the dollar. These were alibis, okay? And we did get a bounce, okay? And here it is again. You got a bounce, and then here we go. We violated, okay? And we took out earlier low. 44.92 here. Okay, so you're like, okay, what do you do? Well, I got some areas here, okay? 44 double, 44.20-ish. And then right here, see this number? 43.74, call it, okay? Or 43.43 if that's easier to remember. You get under here, babe. Let's go to a little bit longer term. There's a daily. Okay, here's a daily. Oh, this is way back in November here. We were down at 3,900. Okay. So what's the hard trade? I think you just trade it. It's been a good trade, but here, because I draw the first head and shoulders here. That's why these are all drawn. Okay, I will come up with the first ones for more or less like traders or swing traders or just traders. You want to sell a head and shoulders, you know? And I've been talking about it forever, man. Nobody is bearish gold, you know? Okay, up until maybe this past 3 days. Okay, and this was the warning. You came all the way back up here. Okay, all the way back up here. Now you're putting in the right shoulder. Here's the left shoulder. Here's a head. This is a small head and shoulders. Here you got a smaller head and shoulders right here. Okay, that was that line when we were. This is up at 50.50, $5,050. Okay, so I don't know here. Let's go to here. You're gonna like this. Let's go to a weekly. Okay, see the sevens in there. Oh yeah, that's we closed $130 over the low tick. Okay, not a good sign. Not a good sign. Let's go to a little bit longer term. Okay, see those sevens there also? This is a culmination. We've seen this back. As a matter of fact, you know what? Did we see this back in the? Hang on a second. You'll be worth the wait. Oh, maybe it doesn't do it back that far. We did have the same thing back in previous bull market here. Anyway, so here, you want to buy gold? 2,200 or 2,650. Okay, these would be just some levels. This actually, we'll have to see if this is, because if this fails here, this olive buy at 45.50, which it kind of did, we'll see. Okay, these would be a couple targets. 35.35. Okay, so if they get under, what did I say, 43.73? And, you know, so these would be a couple areas. Listen, I gave up good silver because it was so manipulated, okay, for about 12 years covering it because it was just manipulated. They said conspiracy theorist, derogatory term for a critical thinker by one that's never had an original thought in their life. And now all of a sudden, all the fines that they came and paid, and the Chinese banks, and J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the whole slew of them, the same ones that are always doing it. Okay, this is silver. This was the 19th Thursday. Okay, we did this. Look at this. This is, okay, so this is how my charts have looked. Okay, so you got a trend line, whatever. I don't know if this is part of it. Here you bust it. Here you come back up. Maybe that's not a good example. These are longer term ones here, okay? These I make them a little thicker and hashed. Here's another one, plain Jane, trying to hold. We looked at this in gold, okay? And then here, look at this. Here, actually, this is just some other kind of speed line, okay? You know, it's just a trading vehicle. You got two levels right there. You know, you get under here, you got this one to go for. You know, it's $1.40, but you know, if that's your trader profile. If you're longer term, you know, then maybe you're just selling it. And so, and then here, right here, powder blues, 71.20. Look at how it played last night, meaning Thursday night. So Friday session. This is what we did. This is a 24-hour clock. We rallied to 74.60. Okay, so we rallied $3.40 in the overnight back up here. Had all this. You know, we didn't touch anything of that, but that would be if you're waiting for a solid level, okay. Otherwise, you can put your buy stop up there and then you sell it here, okay. I'm just throwing out the ideas. Here you can see a little head and shoulders here. Here you hit it. This is the one I bought for a client. 29 was the low. Actually, 29 was a double bottom. See it there, 71.29. I moved a 25 bid up to 33. And then you only got a $1.50 rally here. Here you cross back under the powder blues. And now all of a sudden, here you're running, look at this. You run a 7 going on the close. You close low tick. Okay? On the downside, listen, man, I got nothing. Remember, we went up so fast. Let me go to a daily. Let's see if we can see any of my indicators. Okay? That's a huge head and shoulders top. That's a huge head and shoulders top. This is why this one here. See, it's from here to here, played here. You tell me if it played or not. Okay, we had a chaotic situation. And then all of a sudden here, I'm talking about this hash trend line right here. It's the low. And then here you open right smack ass there. That's how important it is. And then you break. Okay, and then where do you close? You close right there, 71.20. And then here, we close at 69.60. $1.50 lower. So here's a look at it down here, I mean, listen, we just broke $60, okay? And this is good. And the public's not out. The public is scared. They're deers in the headlights, okay? So anyway, this might be here. Let's see what that is. Okay, you know what? 55. You put an order to buy it at 55.50. You might not get it. You might not get it. And it's that's my, at least then you got a shot. So, and silver will give that opportunity. Okay, I think we are going to call this a wrap. Oh, here, you know what? Let me finish off with this. You're going to like this. Let's go super long term. I know we had diamonds here. Well, that'll be for another video. All right, if you need anything, you know what? Head over to NASDAQ. Take the Pro or take the that other package, okay? And you will get charts like these. And, it's up to you, okay? If you need to learn them and stuff like that, not a problem, okay? We'll set up a course for you here and explain these charts. And that can be, because I had two of my floor trader buddies talk to one another, and one was explaining how to read my charts to this other guy, actually to the whale. So if you don't understand the charts, get a hold of me. Email me, ARP@NASDOG. Thanks for watching.